Hello, welcome to your practice. My name is Leanne Matulo, and I'm so excited to have you here. So is my dog Lucy. So we're excited for you to join us. For this practice, we're going to be starting on the back. So if you are pregnant, I'm going to invite you to prop up and I'll show you how to do that. We'll see if she can last as I teach you today. So I'm going to invite you to prop up. If you're postpartum and it would feel better to have you propped up, you can certainly do so as well. So here's what we're going to do. I have blocks. You might have pillows. All of those things would be perfectly fine. So you're going to take your blocks if you have them, maybe grab a pillow or a blanket. It doesn't have to look exactly like mine. Okay. And what we're going to do is create this L shape with our blocks. So I have two-tone here, so hopefully you can see that. But the idea is that you're creating some sense of height, okay, in your blocks. And then you're going to take a bolster or a pillow that's going to go right on top of that. And we want quite a bit of height because if you're laying flat on your back, particularly second, third trimester postpartum, or excuse me, second, third trimester during pregnancy, this can actually cut off blood flow to many parts of the body, which can make you feel nauseous and lightheaded, okay? It's really from the weight of the baby. Postpartum, it might be really helpful to prop up because you might be feeling some pain in your low back, pain in your pelvis, or nothing at all. You might just want to lay flat. All is fine. So bring your hips to the very edge of your prop. Bring the hands down on either side, and you're slowly going to lower yourself down using as little of your frontal core muscles, your rectus abdominis, as possible. And then it's going to be your choice. I'd love you to have you flip the palms to face up as you shrug the shoulders or walk the shoulder blades down. You might want to bring the hands to the belly to baby. It might feel really comfortable to extend the legs all the way out in front. Or it might not. You might want to keep the soles of the feet on the ground. And so you might hear me already. I just want you to sigh a few times, breathing in through the nose, maybe out through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Good. So whereas the complementary practice to this was really about exploring the circular pattern of movement and of the hips, this will be really starting to work into more of a joint freeing series as well as a bit of stretching, okay? So what we're gonna do is extend the left leg all the way out in front, if that is comfortable for you. If it is not, sole of the foot can stay down, all right? And you're gonna start to drag the right toes all the way back towards the seat, any amount. If you have a baby in your belly, it's not gonna be as far. If it helps to brace the palms to face down, that's also fine. And you're gonna lift that knee just a little bit. So you're gonna lift the foot off the earth, take the knee out to the side, any amount, and then swing that leg all the way down to hover next to the left foot before you start to draw the knee over to the left. Really gentle little twist, and then back up to center. So you can keep circling this, okay? You might actually feel like, oh, there's a little pop or there's a little click. And if that is painful for you, then I invite you again to bend the opposite leg and make these circles a little bit smaller, okay? Your twist is gonna be a little bit smaller, but see if you can let the upper body be relaxed, be pretty neutral, okay? Let the jaw relax, and then start to move that knee in the opposite direction. So it comes across the body, goes forward, out to the side, bend the knee, a few more like that. Breathing, there's actually quite a bit of work happening here. And then gently let the right sole of the foot touch down. Pause here, soften the shoulders if they were clenching, soften the jaw. And then we'll switch sides. So left sole of the foot can come towards the earth, right leg can slide out if that's comfortable, okay? If not, sole of the foot will be on the earth. And then drag the left toes as far as you can towards the seat. Lift the knee, lift the foot, take an inhale and start to bring that leg out to the side. Swing it forward. And then all the way over towards the right and back to center, okay? And again, I'm pressing into my hands just to give myself a little bit more stability here and to really take a lot of work from my core. okay? And then start to move in the opposite direction. So this is joint freeing work, which means exactly what it says. It's liberating the movement of the joints rather than just stretching or strengthening, which is really common in a physical practice. Good, one more. Did I tell you to reverse? If you haven't reversed, go ahead and do that, maybe a few times. And then when you feel like you've had enough, left sole of the foot comes down towards the earth. Pause here, breath in, breath out. Good, now to come out of this, we're gonna roll over onto the left side, right side, it doesn't matter. We're not gonna stay there, just enough to press into the hands and push our way up to a comfortable seat. I'm gonna attempt to do this with the puppy here. But we're gonna move into another piece of the joint freeing work. So I might have to get creative here so you can see exactly what we are gonna be working into. We're gonna take the legs wide into a V shape, okay? And your V does not have to be as wide as mine. It doesn't have to be super narrow. It really is going to be dependent on what feels right for you. So you could even bring this in quite a bit, okay? You're gonna bring your hands back behind you, press into the finger pads. So again, pads of the fingers, not the whole palm, and lift the chest. Soften through the shoulders. Good, breath in, breath out. Now from here, you're gonna turn, I'll mirror you. You're gonna turn your right toes in, okay? So maybe the right big toe comes to the earth. Your hip is gonna lift up a little bit, and then you're gonna slide that foot all the way, I'm gonna jump over her face, all the way over towards the opposite leg. Now, hip comes down, turn the pinky edge side of your toe towards the earth, and maybe it touches, maybe it doesn't. You're gonna slide it back, all right? Maybe I'll scooch this way. Go ahead and turn the toe in. Maybe an inhale here, slide over. Hip comes down, turn the pinky edge of the toe towards the earth. Go ahead and slide back out. If you're feeling a lot of sensation or if this is really difficult for you, just really give yourself grace. That's okay. Eventually, yes, the toes might come to the earth, but if they're nowhere near that right now, that's perfectly fine. Good. And then pause. Breath in, breath out. Notice as you're here, if there's anywhere that you're holding and even just that practice where you're clenching the belly, your fingers, your jaw, just really loosen. You can even just kind of wiggle a little bit from side to side. And then we move into the opposite side. So fingertips back behind you, turn the left toes in, slide that left foot all the way over. And then the hip will come down, turn the pinky toe side of the foot towards the earth, and then slide it back out, hop over her head. You don't do that unless you have like a cat or a dog or a child. Go ahead and come to the side. And just keep breathing. Maybe one more full movement. And then pause with the legs out. Maybe point and flex through the toes. Now we're just going to work into the side seam of the body because even though we're working with the pelvis and the hips, everything is attached. Everything is seen as a full system in yoga and yoga therapy, okay? So just like in that first practice, we brought the heart in, we want to bring the side seam in. So you're just going to start to stretch all the way over towards the right. Maybe you lift the left arm up any amount, and then go ahead and come back down, stretch all the way over towards the left, lift the right arm up. And all I want you to do is kind of flow through this from side to side, okay? It's almost like I'm dragging one hand up, one hand out, right? Breathing here. So it's less about arriving to the stretch and more so about the transition. Breathing, slowing the movement down, finding a little bit more ease in the body. Maybe you close the eyes. Maybe this feels really odd to you. Maybe it feels really delicious. It doesn't matter. It's all about exploring. And when you feel like you've had enough, from side to side, start to find your way towards neutral. Take a breath in. And then as you exhale, start to hinge forward with a long spine. So make sure there's plenty of space for baby. If you want to prop yourself up, if there's a baby in your belly, you can do that. You can sit on a bolster or a pillow. But I want you to have a long spine here rather than rounding and contracting. You can bring the fingertips to the earth. You can bring the palms towards the earth. Tuck the chin just slightly. And think about the spine being on this beautiful diagonal, okay? Take 3 rounds of breath here. It's not about as far down you can go. It's really about this element of extension and breath, keeping the heart space open as we lengthen. Can you breathe down into the belly? Good, starting to lift all the way up. Begin to bend the knees, bring the hands underneath of the knees and just gently walk all of this back to center. I'm going to stay facing you for this. I know I'm off of my sticky mat. You can certainly stay on yours. Bring the hands back behind you and let's just work into some rotation here, some internal and external rotation. Feet are going to be about as wide as your sticky mat. And you're just going to start to rock the knees from side to side. Okay, so you can see that motion coming onto the edges of the feet as you do so. And perhaps as you rock from side to side, you start to look and gaze in the opposite direction. Okay, so maybe an inhale takes you one direction, gaze goes the opposite way of the knees, and an exhale takes you the other direction. Keep pressing into the fingers, the palms. My fingertips are facing in towards my hips. Keep the heart open. Good. Starting to find a more neutral position. Go ahead and bring the legs to cross in front of you. This might feel really great and okay. It might feel uncomfortable. So if you need more space, again, for the hips, prop yourself up, sit on a pillow or a blanket. Slide one shin in front of the other. So my right shin is in front of my left, or if I were mirroring you, it would be opposite. Doesn't matter. We're just going to gently work into the outside of the hips. Take an inhale here. And then as you exhale, hinge forward. Again, if there is a baby here, you're not going to be going as far. Bring the palms down if you have space for that. If you have blocks, you can bring them onto blocks. And here I'll say, go ahead and round into the shape. Drop the chest. Let the head be heavy. Breathe in, breathe out. And then as you inhale, start to lift all the way up. Take the opposite cross of the legs. And when I say cross, the ankles are really not stacked. It's just my left leg is going to be in front of my right shin this time. Hips are on the earth, they're neutral. Take a breath in. As you exhale, begin to fold forward. Forearms can come to the earth, palms, whatever is comfortable. And again, just let the head be heavy. Let the hips be heavy. And then start to lift all the way up. Beautiful. Coming into a comfortable seated position wherever you'd like to be. Maybe seated on something. And we're going to come into what's called Padma Mudra. So a lotus mudra. Mudras are just gestures with our hands. So you're going to bring the pinkies together, the heels of the hands and the thumbs, but the other three fingers are going to stay out. And you're going to draw the shape right to the heart. Soften the shoulders, maybe close the eyes. Relax the jaw. Relax the toes, the hips getting heavier into the earth, and just noticing the breath. And perhaps focusing your gaze at the center of this lotus shape, this chalice-like shape at the heart. And this mudra is like holding the most delicate flower. Okay, so if we were to grip onto a flower, we would crush it. So just let this be light. And in this practice, I'd like to invite you to explore, is there anything that I am gripping onto? In the last practice, we were moving through what we might be resistant, pushing away, bracing against. And in this practice, what might I be gripping onto that I may not be allowing myself to let go? And if I were to unfurl my grasp, what kind of nourishment might move in? How can I soften my grip? And as I soften, how might I receive nourishment and rest? Maybe smile here, fold the hands at the heart, and bring this shape all the way up towards the forehead. Take a breath in, little bow as you breathe out. Thank you for your practice, Jai Ma. If you really enjoyed these practices, please do share them with a friend. Let them know of this work that we're doing to explore pain, particularly in the pelvis and the hips and pregnancy and postpartum. Write me a message. I'd love to hear from you about your experience or any questions you have, and share your practice with me either via email or on social media. So thank you so much. I hope this serves you, and I would love to hear from you soon.